obviously I grew up in that era of the Carter 2, Lil Wayne. That era was just everything for us. Being a football player still in high school, when that go DJ, that's my DJ, all of that, when that hit, just changed your mindset. Everything that we've been fighting for, praying for, working hard for, to go down that highway and to hear that size of an offer, it was just like, oh my gosh, like it's finally here. This is what we worked for. And I think that was one of the first and few times that I've seen my dad get emotional.
Welcome to the Car Ride Home podcast. This is going to be a fun car ride today. I'm joined by CJ Beatty, former professional baseball player, drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals, Hall of Fame college baseball career at North Carolina A&T. Shout out to the Aggies. We just learned we're both Aggies. CJ is now a motivational speaker. He's a music artist, better known as the king of softball music. And I think this is really important, CJ, but you're also a girl dad. So CJ, welcome to the Car Ride Home.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Yes, I am a girl dad, proud of it. I think my wife took me to a higher level, but having a baby girl has just softened my heart, and she took me to another level.
Love it. We'll probably talk about that too. So funny enough, we always set the stage in the car, and this is always the first question. I'm not just doing this because of who you are, but we're in the car ride home, which we all spend a lot of time as growing up as athletes. What kind of music are we listening to?
Well, as of right now, whatever the 4-year-old wants to listen to. So every time I get in the car, right now it's K-pop Demon Hunters. They're the number one artist inside of the car right now. But then next comes Beatty. I ride second to K-pop. She doesn't call any of my songs correctly by their titles. It's just whatever part of the song that she remembers the most. Like Give Me Hugs, she calls Slide. It's like 2 steps to the left, clap, 2 steps to the right, clap. Yeah, she says, can you put on Slide? So from 2 to 3, we played like Minions scrambling. Like, what does she mean? Because she's crying because we can't put her song on fast enough. I'm like, honey, I don't know it as Slide. But yes, whatever the 4-year-old is, she's the
You gotta go back through your own lyrics. What about when you were an athlete? What'd you listen to, especially pregame?
Man, you know what? I was more of, obviously I grew up in that era of the Carter 2, Lil Wayne. That era was just everything for us. Being a football player still in high school, when that go DJ, that's my DJ, all of that, when that hit, just changed your mindset. But my favorite hip hop artist of all time, man, I just got to give homage to J. Cole. I think J. Cole and what he does down there in the Ville, with me being from North Carolina, I love his lyrics and his analogies and the things and the way that he just stays real to who he is. He didn't go commercial. He came in from the mixtape world, and it was just, that's what we have, J. Cole.
I'm going to embarrass myself for saying this, but we did learn we're about the same age. But you said North Carolina and hip hop. It just immediately makes me think of Petey Pablo.
Well, see, everybody that's not from North Carolina thinks that we love. I mean, we love Petey. Like, don't get me wrong, but it's, that was just one hit. After that, actually, no, hold on.
I think there was 2.
Not do that. Then let me not do that. He had a couple more hits and some collabs. I'm sorry, Petey, if you're watching.
Shout out Petey Pablo.
Right? But it is an iconic song. I mean, for real. When you think about North Carolina, yes, over pound for pound, J. Cole by far. But when it comes to that song, he really did help put North Carolina on the map when we were struggling to find some people. Who y'all got? We throw your twist it around your head, spinning like a helicopter.
So good. So good. Well, beyond music, the next most important part for baseball and softball is, where are we eating on the car ride home?
Oh man, I'm telling you where the 4-year-old goes. I'm so, thank God, many nights of prayer, we've gotten away from chicken nuggets from McDonald's. My Lord, that's all she would eat. Like, we couldn't go nowhere, and I suffered from it. My body was morbidly obese during this time. So what you're looking at is I'm on the road to recovery, because that's all we ate was just McDonald's. But now she's expanded to Tyson's from Walmart. She likes Tyson's chicken nuggets. She likes Chick-fil-A now, but she's bougie. You can only have the the grilled. It's like, honey, who are you? But car ride home, Chick-fil-A. I mean, it's always the go-to, and it's the safe bet.
That's fair. That's fair. So parents out there can totally relate to what you're saying right now too.
For sure, for sure. It's like, hey, do you want to be miserable, or do you want a clean car ride home? We're on the way to Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, that's fair. What about go back to your time as an athlete?
Okay.
What was the most memorable car ride home that you had, whether it was with your parents or with the team? What's your most memorable car ride?
You know what? The first one that stuck out was the car ride home after having my official visit to North Carolina A&T. You know, because that was amazing to ride back down the highway with my father. My mother had to go to work, unfortunately, but with my father, I could tell, I could see how proud he was of me. For them to talk so highly of me and to offer me the scholarship that they did, and just to ride back, there's just a moment of jubilee because everything came to the forefront. You know, everything that we've been fighting for, praying for, working hard for, to go down that highway and to hear that size of an offer, it was just like, oh my gosh, like this is finally here. This is what we worked for. And you know, I think that was one of the first and few times that I've seen my dad get emotional. You know, so I think that was a very powerful car ride home.
Again, relatable, right? Because that's why we do this too. Just thinking of all the times dad and daughter, or, you know, mom and daughter, just those moments are big.
Yes.
Let's go back to your beginning. Why baseball as a youth player, as a young kid growing up in North Carolina? Why baseball?
Shoot, I was forced. My hand was forced. Well, actually, I ain't gonna say my hand was forced. My dad's hand was forced. My dad was known in the area as a very dominant linebacker for football. So as the story goes, as they tell me all the time, he was trying to be a good father by listening to his wife, be a good husband by listening to his wife. And my mother didn't want me broken up in some huddle or some, tackle, broken arm as a 5 or 6 year old. I mean, she just was like, no, why would we worry about breaking arms and stuff? He could do that later. So he listened, and he tried to put me in the most non-contact sport that he could think of. And it was T-ball. And it was coach pitch. It was machine pitch. It was all of that. And it just so happened that in T-ball, listening to her, we found something. I tell people to this day, I was the best Little League player in my city by far. You know why? Because I could run the right way. You know, when you go see a T-ball game, you see the kids they follow the ball. They don't run. They hit the ball and then cry. I just was running the right way. I knew which way to run the bases. So I think that's what made me like top 10 in my city for Little League. Like,
high standard. That's a big deal.
That's a big deal. I mean, but I will tell you, when I was on defense, I did have a full drum set of dandelions in the outfield.
Okay, you were that guy.
I was sitting on my butt and I was drumming away. I think that's where my music career started.
In the outfield, it was at South Little League in Winston-Salem.
Drumming air drums on some dandelions.
Also relatable. I get that. What were there moments? So you graduate from Little League, you go on, you have a Hall of Fame career at North Carolina A&T. You get drafted. You go through the minor league system of a couple different organizations. What were the moments you think in baseball that shaped what you're doing now and that prompted you into the motivational speaking aspect? Hit you with a deep one.
Yeah, I know. I would say, I keep going back to it, Jami. My parents. I mean, my dad was a truck driver, and he's retiring this year. We're going to try to drag him out the truck, but when you've been driving for over 40 years, it's ingrained in your DNA. So, but my dad being a truck driver, my mom working for the local paper at the time, they helped to really change the way I look at life. I think what really helped me be the person that I am today is on those car rides home, they were always talking about being different. They were always talking about not worrying about the type of bat, just go out there and hit that ball. So at a young age, I always dared to be different. That's what my parents fed me all the time, is walk the path less traveled. And I believe that that type of upbringing and keeping me around that type of thinking helped really cultivate me into I want everybody else to feel how being different is not a negative. How being able to find your own identity within your sport, just because you might not be a home run hitter, or you might not steal a lot of bases, or you might not throw hard, you can still be the best contact hitter in the league. You could be the hardest out, the toughest out to get. So my parents had me thinking that way, to embrace who I am and to own it, but go the road less traveled. So, shouts out to my peeps, man.
I love that. What was the first moment that you realized speaking was in the cards?
Yeah, I think that came. So motivational speaking happened because I had great role models. My role models player wise was Derek Jeter, Ken Griffey Jr., and those two specifically because of how we, as we say now, we're dating ourselves, but back in the day at the dentist office was Sports Illustrated. And those magazines, like, you remember that, parents, those magazines. And while you're waiting in these dental offices or doctor's offices, you will pick up a Sports Illustrated for kids, and you'll open it up, and it'll be professional athletes that you see on TV going back to their hometowns, community activations, and it just shows it, and it shows how happy the kids were. And I remember that, and that touched me. Touched me so much that I vowed that I wanted to do the same thing if I played professional sports. So how I became a motivational speaker was literally when I found I was doing it for free, because I thought that that's what you're supposed to do as a community leader. Like, if you get blessed to play pro baseball, I see my role models going back and giving back. Is that not what I'm supposed to do? So I was going back to speaking at elementary and middle and high schools, pep rallies and assemblies, and just doing what I was supposed to do, is encouraging these students to anti-bully speeches and understanding the importance of education and respecting and dreams and teamwork. And then somebody told me one day, they was like, "Hey man, you should be able to get paid to do this." I'm like, "Get paid? They pay people to do this?" I said, people are giving me gas cards, but is that what you mean? It's like, "No, dude, like, you can do this for real, for real." And I didn't think nothing of it at that time, honestly. But long story short, when I was in Australia playing baseball in the ABL, I had a turning point in my life because I was getting a little older, long in the tooth, as they say. And people don't understand that when you're in the minor leagues and you're around 26, 27, you're considered old if you haven't made it to a AAA roster. Maybe at least AA, depending on if you're a pitcher or catcher or somebody valuable. So I was about 26, 27, and I was outside of affiliated ball, playing independent, playing overseas, trying to get another opportunity. And I started to see the writing on the wall. I FaceTimed my mother, and I was just trying to say, "Hey, what else am I good at? Because I don't think that this baseball thing is going to last forever. I want to play, but I just can't survive off of $1,500 a month. And I can't do that. So what's next? Can you help me?" And my mom was like, "Well, what else are you good at?" And I said, people say they like to hear me speak, but surely I can't make a living off of that. I can probably get paid, but a living? And all I went to this thing called Google, and I typed in motivational speaking salaries. And that's when I was able to see, my mouth dropped. At that time I saw Colin Powell getting like 40 grand an hour. And I'm like, good, great. They paying somebody $40,000 for 1 hour, 60 minutes. Then at the end of the day, what the turning point, Jami, was when I said, if they're going to pay me to do what I would do for free, then this is the industry for me. And that's when I was very, very inspired to change the world as a motivational speaker.
I love that. Well, it's worked out. I have so many questions even within that, but you're wearing the hat of the softball motivator.
Yes.
And so why softball? How did you go from baseball career, going to be speaking in baseball,
yes,
to now softball? Why softball?
And I'm glad you asked that, because 2015, the timeline, is when I launched TBM. And so for about 3 years is when I, settled in, and I settled in great. I took my personal page on Instagram. I got in on Instagram at the tail end of the boom. And I took my page from 9,000 to 30,000 followers in 9 months. Like, it was just growing as the baseball motivator. I was just putting routines, approaches, do's and don'ts, all these things, what scouts look for, and it was just going viral. But then around 2018, what happened was I was speaking a lot around the country, to baseball players, but these baseball players had sisters. These baseball players had bigger sisters. And the parents would come up to me and say, "Hey, can you come speak to my daughter's team?" And I'm like, I don't know anything about slapping, leads, the balls that you go. I don't know none of that. So I didn't want to disrespect the sport by speaking on something I didn't know about. But they kept telling me and encouraging me, like, "No, CJ, you're not talking X's and O's. You're talking about routines, approaches, right friends, wrong friends, the power, the importance of a notebook, mental toughness." And those ladies, my girls, need to hear this. And I said, okay. I took a deep breath and I gave it a shot. And funny story, how we have some networking connections. The first organization to really help put me on the map for big speaking was the Virginia Glory. The Virginia Glory, Susie Sizzle, shout out to Susie. She took a chance and brought me up, paid me to come up to Virginia, Fairfax, Virginia. We had a big speaking. We had a TSM weekend, and it was phenomenal. I left there more pumped than the girls because I was like, man, these girls get it. Like boys, their arms crossed and they're too cool for school. When you ask, do you got questions? It's crickets. But when you ask the girls, like, hey, you have questions? It was like, oh, shoot. Okay. Hold on. Let me get to you first. I saw your hand. And it was just, as a coach, you love that kind of training. You love that energy. And that's when TSM was born. That's when I knew right then and there, I can easily transition this to help these ladies out. And just how it's grown over the years is just because of the fact that as I was able to reflect on this, I saw that there was a huge gap in helping these young ladies with visibility. And it's also, to be transparent, they haven't been taken care of when it comes in this male dominated world. So I just said, well, you know what? I'm gonna take my 2 cents and I'm gonna do the right thing. And I want to be able to give these young ladies and their families a platform that they can feel comfortable being who they are. And we're gonna go all the way to the moon with it.
I love that. And I'm going to take a step back before we continue forward, because I think it's a big part too of going to the softball music. But we were talking before we went live here. Uh-huh. There's somebody in your house who's a pretty good softball player herself, your wife. Yes. I don't know if we played against each other, but I definitely remember watching her play collegiately and professionally. Can you talk a little bit about your wife, Brianna, and also how that has impacted you in softball?
For sure. Shouts out to my wife, Brianna, formerly Brianna Cherry, the ones that played with the Akron Racers, the Dallas Charge, Scrapyard Dogs.
ULL, right? She was.
She went to UL. Yep, we went to UL. Raging Cajuns. I don't know what she does with her hands when she does. She's like Raging Cajun. I said, "What are you doing? What are these, like pistols? I don't know what are you doing." But yes, we met. I mean, just short story. We met when I was playing for the Washington Wild Things in the Frontier League, and I saw her run across the field when she played. And I asked Q, who was with the Rebellion at the time. I said, "Q, who is that?" He's like, "Oh, so you like Brianna?" I said, "I didn't say I liked her. I just asked you who it was. I think she looks okay. She looks good.
She can hit.
But she can freaking hit, man. I've never been out hit by a girlfriend before, and to the point where I don't even bring up going to the cages anymore for my male pride. I'm just like, yeah, baby, you got that. I'm gonna leave that alone. And anybody else be like, "Hey, man, y'all want to go to the cages?" I'm like,
no.
Don't do. Hey, you know what I know? It ain't gonna be fun. But yeah, so she really helped influence, give me the confidence as well in TSM, because with my respect for the sport, I definitely wanted to do my due diligence by asking some players that played at a high level, my entry, how to attack it, get their blessing to be able to go and pursue this brand. And it was great. She introduced me to her cousin, Nerissa Myers, which then introduced me to Natasha Watley, Jen Schroe, Monica Abbott, Lauren Chamberlain. And we all been like a social family. And I really appreciate Brianna for that. I wish in the perfect world that she would have, like, people don't know this, but I was kind of courting my wife to be the softball motivator. But as they say, you marry your opposite. My wife wanted no parts of in front of the camera. She's like, I'll help you. I'll do onboarding. I'll help you do all this other stuff. But that is you. And I'm like, babe, you don't understand. Like, we could be this power duo, baseball motivator, softball motivator. I'll help you. I'll be able to. I said, no, that is not me. That is you. I'll support, So I was like, oh. So I became the baseball and softball motivator in 2018.
That's amazing. Hey, there's still time, Brianna. There's still time. We can get her out there, and I'm calling for it. I'd like to see a home run derby with the two of you. Let's see it.
I don't know. I mean, you know what? I'll just get. Look, she's very athletic. She disrespect my brother in a pickup game of basketball. Like Brianna, if Brianna was 6'3", she would definitely 6'4". She would have been like a run at a high D1 for basketball because her post moves are like a Hakeem Olajuwon. I'm like, honey, I said, hey, why's my elbow in my ribs? Like, what are you doing? Like, we're just playing a friendly game. No.
From loving basketball to loving softball. It's here. I see an inspiration for the next song, which, speaking of, and I love your passion for softball. And I think that's a great backstory too, of just understanding the differences, but also, wanting to support. So I want to dive into your lyrics and get better understanding. Row My Boat, by the way, voted the #1 walkout song in softball, which I listen to it now at 10U tournaments. My 9-year-old niece is listening to it on her pregame warm up in our car ride to the tournament.
Yes.
So I'm not gonna lie, my favorite lyric is "We beat softballs till the yellow turned blue."
Yes.
But what's especially in "Row My Boat," because there's some good just lyrics and, like, I would call them one-liners. What's one of your favorites from "Row My Boat" and why?
You know what? I'm gonna stick with the one that you just said, because when people think, it's not like a take me out to the ball game. Like when people think of baseball and softball music, like, it's not that. What that meant to me, that lyric, that bar was special because if you listen to my songs, it gives the young players attitude, and the right attitude, just to be confident in their abilities. And when they say it, because, I'm a very, very strong believer of, whatever, write the vision, make it plain, and speaking things into existence. So it's like, I wanted to be very meticulous and strategic on the lyrics that I put in these songs. So when these young girls are screaming it out, they're screaming it out like, I can do this. Yeah. I want to beat the softball till the yellow turns blue. We're going after that. We're going after that ball. I'm swinging with confidence. So there's a lot of subliminal things that I put inside of it. These songs that's building these girls up, even from the subconscious, even if they're 7 and don't really know. But what we're building up is that confidence on the inside to say, this, I identify with this song.
It's really cool because even now, living through it as an aunt, there's some songs out there that are, very questionable, and you can tell in these lyrics, and it's really cool to see these girls have that music, and there are some inspiration. Tell me about this one. Play the game hard while we keep pretty faces.
Oh, yes, because don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? Like, we step across that line. Hey, here comes the beast. The beauty's coming out. You know what I'm saying? We play the game hard, but we still keep pretty faces. The beauty and the beast is when we step across that line. You know what I'm saying? Like, I put the hair back in the bun, and I put the hair bow up, and we do all that stuff, but don't get it twisted. Let's get ready to go down.
It's so, I just think of all the faces in our sport too, right? And we're wearing makeup, but we also have eye black and we're gross, but like pretty. Yeah. I love it.
I think there's something beautiful that softball brings to the game, because the girl could be striking out the side, tearing us up. That pitching circle is on fire, and she's got her hair did, nails done. Lashes on. I'm like, dang, she is tearing us up and looking like a model at the same time.
So true. Another, I'm gonna move to Big Girl Talk.
Ooh, now this is the first attitude song.
I like this one too because the history of the game is really important, in my opinion, and letting little girls know who came before them and some of the stars. So let me see if I get this correct. Throwing extra hard, they call me Monica Abbott.
Yes.
And then She the Queen of Slap, aka Natasha Watley. Yes. What inspired those?
Again, just paying homage. I know that we have growing up, rappers always drop, names of NBA players and iconic professional athletes, and predominantly, I mean, of course, you get some Serena Williams drops and you get some things like that. But softball, I wasn't getting any love in the hip hop world, so I was just like, well, look, with the small amount of followers I have, at least that they'll be able to know that they're enshrined forever in the history of music by hearing their names in these songs, and however far they go, then they could always, I always looked at it as I would want Natasha Watley to be able to play that song and say, oh man, I'm in a song, so that was like me giving them their flowers, because music stays forever, music will be here till God comes back. So it's like, I just wanted to be able to put them in my music hall of fame so they could be enshrined forever.
That's so good. And I respect that as a softball person too, because those are legends in our game that everybody needs to know. But I actually am really partial to this one. I'm gonna be at home getting better hitting high tee. Like, let's go. That's maybe because that was my favorite drill. But
yes, I'm telling you. And I was definitely a huge advocate for high tee, because I had it was either I was striking out, hitting a major league pop up, or I was hitting a bomb. And they said, son, it's going to be tough for you to continue to level up when the velocity gets higher if you're going to continue to swing all the way from your ankles up to the sky. So high tee really helped my bat path. But just thinking about, I always, when I'm writing these songs, I'm always putting myself in a situation of how can I inspire somebody to want to practice more. So I called out that in the song just so somebody can say, I'm always at home hitting high tee, grinding to the end because I'm looking for my pot of gold. Practice every day. Why you haters want a powder nose? Hey, then like when I said I'm practicing every day, why you haters want to be out there all in here just doing your makeup? I'm out here war paint getting at it at home. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of lyrics in there to inspire people to keep fighting and pushing for their dreams.
Now, I got to ask, what position did you play?
I started off on the smaller fields as a shortstop, and then I transitioned to center field. So I became an outfielder all the way up through the draft. And, crazy thing is, I thought that I was like fast. You don't know what fast is until you go to the pro league, because there's other people out there that makes your fast look like little town fast. I started watching people like run a 60-yard dash in spring training, and I was like, my God, his feet are not even hitting the ground. Is that what? Okay, so that's what a real center fielder looks like. And I'm gonna go over here to right field. Yes. But after my contract ended with the Cardinals, I came back. I wanted, they always encourage you to don't quit, just reinvent yourself. That can be another thing that you can do. So I wanted to go back to my roots as an infielder. So I became a super utility. I owned the outfield. And then I added second base and third base when I came back to independent ball. So that made me a super utility. And I always encourage parents to let your kids play multiple positions, because you don't want to get pigeonholed. Even if they are the best shortstop, I think it's best, especially in young sports, that you can help foster them to third base, help foster them in the left field, because as a former pro scout, I'm telling you, you add value to your players when they can be more versatile in multiple positions.
So true. I really like super utility, by the way. And can we do a next song, Little Town Fast? That's good.
Little Town Fast. You already know.
Started here. Exactly. But the reason I asked to a position, because you have a song called Dem Catchers, and was it Saving Games with an S on their chest, which shout out catchers. I was not a catcher. I was like you, middle infield, outfield. Mm-hmm. But catchers don't get love all the time. Is that inspiration?
And you see the pattern here. It's like I go after shining a light in well-deserved places. And, pitchers, quarterbacks, point guards, shooting guards, everybody always gets the love, but what about the other people? What about the other positions? And I thought about that. Every time I'm coming out with these songs, I get parents and submissions for requests and everything. They're like, what if I do a song for the catchers? Nobody ever talks about the catchers. And then I thought about it before I made that song. I was like, that is right. The catchers get like a lot of short end of the stick. When it comes to a practice, let's just walk through it real quick. The catchers show up. They're a part of the team now because they stretch it with the team. But as soon as they get stretched, the coach is going to yell out there, hey, take Sydney and go down there and get her loose. And she goes down there and get her loose. And if the other catcher doesn't show up, you know what that catcher get ready to do? Oh, we'll get you some swings towards the end. Now she's down there with Sydney, Amy, Stacy, Anna, back hurt, everything. Next thing you know, we got a game tomorrow. Be there at 8:00. Who's the first catcher? The catcher that's been out there, So I just thought about, let's pay some love to the catchers. And we called it Dem Catchers. And the reason why I said, like I got an S on my chest is because I want them to know how important they are. And there's a lot of times, catchers get the bad end of the stick when they miss that one ball. But nobody talks about all the other things they didn't stop the whole game with that one ball that they missed. Everybody want to be on them. But they're superheroes. And a team without, you can have a great team, a great pitcher, great hitters, great fielders. But if you don't have a good catcher, it's going to be a track meet, and it's going to be an absolute, you might as well don't even bend down, honey. Just let the ball go to the backstop and just run fast and go get it. I've been there before. I've been a coach before, Jamie. I just like, hey, does anybody catch before? I have never caught. Well, this is what I want you to do. Try to catch it, but if you think it's going to hit the dirt, just turn around and run backwards and just try to beat the ball,
Shout out catchers. Appreciate them. CJ, I want to talk. You have a special connection with travel ball moms. Yes. And from your following, from your messaging. Let's talk to the travel ball parents. What is your message? Like, why travel ball moms, and what's your message to them?
I would say, I think that connection to the travel ball moms really helps me because I really saw what my mom went through. All right. I saw how my mom had to get off of work. My dad was a truck driver, remember? So therefore it was like at times my mom moved like a single mom, and not because of my dad. It was just that he was out there on the road. So I saw my mom get off of work and have to hit the road to drive an hour to get me on time for a game. And I just saw how much went into it. I saw how much went into, I don't feel good, and then she don't feel good, but she's still there, and she's dragging the wagon in the complexes. Hey, I left my glove, and then she finds a way to go get the glove, and then she comes. It was just a lot that went into it. So when I, as I grew up as a speaker and encouraging the parents, and I tell them as a speaker, like, stay with it, fight hard, and not be your child's best friend, but remain their parent. Because even when I felt like I didn't want to hear what my mom and dad were saying, especially my mom, she kept loving on me as a parent and not as a friend. And I'm so thankful because of the fact that when times got rough, all of those kitchen talks, car rides, homes that my mom was giving me, like telling me to be different and all to pick up the pieces, I think that stuck with me. So now on this side of the fence as a music artist and motivational speaker, I'm more on the mom side because it's like I want to keep them encouraged because of all the things they have to do. And sometimes I know as a husband, I don't tell my wife thank you as much as I should. So I think that I'm using my platform right now to be able to shed a lot of light, giving these mamas songs, giving these mamas their own lane within my brand to say that he sees us, and we appreciate that.
What do you hear the most from moms? I'm sure you get either they come up to you, after a concert, after you speak, or they send you DMs. Like, what are you hearing the most from them about their struggles or that you help them the most with?
Being able to be a sounding box to their kids. Since they know that I have their ears, I get a lot of thank yous because I've been trying to tell my daughter this for so long and she has not been hearing me. But ever since you got on your TikTok and you did that motivational clip, she has been light years better. They've just been saying thank you. I know a lot of the moms especially has saying, I mean, to be honest with you, it's just a resounding thank you because this industry that we live in is so fast paced. The weekends come so fast. And if the dad is the coach, he's worried about doing the lineups and the plate meetings. But all the stuff that was happening prior, when everybody was sleep, packing lunches, getting the car ready and all, a lot of that stuff falls on the moms. And so I get a lot of thank yous for encouraging us. Thank you for sharing your story with your mom, CJ. And that's what keeps me motivated in trying to help educate them and help know that they got somebody that's rooting them on.
That's awesome. In the Alliance, we have, especially at our older age groups, we do have a lot of the elite parents or elite kids, sorry, and kids that want to go play in college. And both parents are a very important part of that. So I know we've chatted and even kind of joked around about sometimes you get that parent, but
yeah.
What would you tell parents? Like, because your role is really important in your athlete's development, her recruitment. So what do you like to tell parents?
I mean, the first thing is be a professional parent, not a professional agent, not a professional coach. Because one of the things that I really understood the most is when I look back over my life, I say that my parents supported me the best. And supported me is to pick me up when my pieces are broken, be my biggest cheerleader, say they're going to help me figure this thing out, be there for me in that capacity. But I think a lot of parents lead with their hearts first and not their minds. They should work together with it. It's not mind only and it's not heart only. And a lot of parents lead with their heart only. So what they end up doing is damaging their relationship with their kids because they missed something as a player when they were younger. So they live vicariously through their kids and it ends up being detrimental because you don't want them to miss what you missed. And that forms a communication barrier and wedge in the relationship of you and your player. And if you would just stay with your pom-poms in your hand and be very supportive from afar and allow the coaches to coach and you correct when things are toxic only and let them understand life. You know, one of the biggest things that I want parents to understand, I'm a huge advocate for, is if you continue to shield them from the fire, when you're not here, fire will burn them. Parents always want to keep them, I don't want them to get burnt. Well, you better let them feel that heat a little bit because whenever the Lord closes your eyes, they're going to be down here on this earth getting burnt and trying to figure out, well, my mom used to do this for me. My dad used to always be here for, I don't know what to do. I feel anxieties, pressures and stuff because they need you to support them by teaching them life. So when a coach comes down hard on them, if it's not toxic, and I'm talking about something like verbal abuse and, you know, physical and all this kind of stuff, if it's not toxic, hey, let them endure, let them go through that. Because if you only put them on the easy road to success, when they get to college where you have no access to them and they got a tough coach, they ain't gonna know how to handle. They're gonna crumble. They get to pro ball, they're gonna crumble. They get to high school where that varsity coach is kicking and screaming and turning over trash cans. They're not gonna perform because they're like, wait a minute, I've never been here before. It's been Charmin toilet paper this whole time, extra soft.
It's so good. So good. It's hard to transition from that, but I don't want to leave out specifically the dads because in our sport, I think there's such a special bond with our girl dads, with our softball dads, because many of them played baseball. And so there is that relationship. Plus it's, you know, it's your little girl. I can speak to that. That's how my dad was. But what's your advice to our girl dads, to our softball dads out there?
Man, my advice, date your daughter. Like, date her. Like, for real, with all due respect, date her. Take her on dates. Pull the chair out. Push it in. Open the door for her. Take her to a nice restaurant. Put some nice clothes on. Get a haircut. And date your daughter. And I'm talking about all the way up from when she's a little 3 to 4-year-old princess. These are the things that I've been coached to do, and I'm seeing it pay off dividends. My biggest goal and every father's biggest goal is to be able to provide and be a provider for his daughter, to be able to, because you're the first male that she's going to love. Mm-hmm. So we have to be able to set a solid foundation on what that love looks like. Here's another tip: love on your wife. If you have her in your life, love on your wife, even when you don't feel like it. If your daughter's present, grab her, give her a kiss, and be like, "You owe me." you know, give her a kiss in front of her. And I mean, we even me and Brianna even go the extra mile and be like, "Hey, Charlotte, you looking? Daddy's kissing mommy," and it's like, "Oh," because that's what she needs to see. That, and I think the softball dads, be that for them. And I know sometimes you get in an awkward situation where you didn't have your boy and you want to be able to go extra hard on your girl, and it's like, hey, that's cool, go extra hard, but just understand something. She's going to grow up and be a beautiful woman one day, and we need to make sure that we love on them accordingly, and dad, let them know that dad has their back.
That's powerful. That's really good. I can speak to my dad is like ultimate girl dad, had 2 daughters, but he was tough but loved. And I actually I called him years ago and just thanked him for putting me in co-ed sports but treating me the same, because I'm often in a room where I am the only female. But I just learned that confidence, I feel like, and that independence from his stability and support of me in those. So dads are very, very important.
Very, very important. And they're on me hard too. Like, hey man, where's our Dem father songs, man? Where's the Dem dads at? I said, hold on, man, it's coming. Ladies first.
Ooh, teaser right there. Teaser that dads are coming. Switching gears a little bit, I want to talk social media, because that's where you've had a huge influence. You've grown your brand. The content it's fun, it's impactful, it's educational. We had you this past summer come out to our Alliance All-Star game, a little bit different audience. So these were our top 40 players in the Alliance. They just graduated. They're all in college right now playing college softball. But we thought it'd be important for you to talk to them about content creation. So what was your advice to those athletes and to others about using social media as a positive platform and medium?
It's one of those things. The 2 things that I remember covering in that speaking, it was imperative and vital. I said, listen to me closely, ladies. I said, you probably heard it before. This might be your first time really hearing this, but every step you take outside of your front door, every physical step you take outside of your front door at home, you are a walking billboard of your own personal brand. Your branding. I mean, and now with NIL being what it is, people are always looking at you to see if they can dump some money on you for their own brand awareness. So even if you're a person to say, I don't do social media, I think you're doing yourself a disservice thinking that way. And then I broke down what Sears and JCPenney's, no offense, but if you don't pay attention to the scoreboard, you're going to get left. And you don't have to be a influencer or posting every day to be active on social media, but you need to have some type of brand strategy that's going to help your cause. Because the world that we live in today, when it comes down to figuring out who is who, before they pick up a phone and call, they're going to go to a social media platform and type your name in. And that's just the world that we live in. So their eyes were big, like, I never really saw it like that. And I'm like, yeah, it's like that. And I think a lot of them, Jami, were just under the impressions of what they see and follow on social media. They'll see a guy like me and how active I am on social media and what I'm posting and how it looks and videographers. And they're like, I'm just from this small town. I don't have access to that. I don't know what I could do. So I think that workshop that we had really opened some eyes to say and put them on a course of, you don't have to post every day. You don't have to post. It could be every other day, and it could be thoughts. People need to get to know who you are, because you are a brand. So if you have something positive, if something positive hits you and it's positive and it made you feel good, I said repost it, because people are starting to identify with who you are based off of what you post. So I think it was very impactful to be able to talk to those young ladies about that.
It was cool. I watched them too. Some of them loosen up that, like, we know traditionally probably didn't feel comfortable in that. Or I remember Matea Lawson specifically, who's now at Texas, huge brand and very, very good player. But I remember I watched her come up and speak to you afterwards. So I thought it was really cool, those players, that it sunk in and were searching for help, because this is a big opportunity for them, right?
Yeah, I mean, and shout out to the Alliance though, because not a lot of people and organizations provide that type of workshop or breakout session for these young ladies to be able to feel comfortable, because at this day and age, it is imperative that they understand it. I mean, it's also imperative that the parents understand it, because a lot of these accounts up until 18 are co-managed by their parents. But if you don't understand it, it's the blind leading the blind. So I think that it's great that Alliance offered an opportunity like this for parents and players to be able to say, okay, we have a better grasp of this. Now we have a plan as a family on how we can do this. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you for that. And also another Susie Sizzle shout out, because Susie helped coordinate and bring that together.
Yes.
Bridging kind of what you just said, and the parents and social media. My sister's actually going through this right now. My niece turns 13 today.
Okay. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. She's a volleyball player and going to start the recruiting aspect soon, right? So 13, some of the players, I just heard in a recruiting conversation, when should my athlete for recruiting get on social media? As a parent, what should I be advising them? So can you talk to parents of that 13, 14, 15-year-old who's starting to enter into that recruiting, but using social media as a tool? What are some things they can do?
I think, well, as of right now, and I don't want to be very clear when I say this, as of right now, you are the child's agent, but that don't mean treat them like a client. But you are the child's agent. So you need to do your own due diligence, because if you are not doing your own research on how you can improve, and research, I mean by it seriously, it's not do a thesis statement or a case study. I'm not trying to say that type of research. I'm just talking about, hey, somebody that's been through it before you, asking, getting on a call and picking their brains. What should I be doing? Asking a lot of questions. Closed mouths don't get fed, parents. And it starts with you. I'm talking to the parents, not the players. Parents, you need to be able to do your due diligence. Go through your phone book. You have all these friends on Facebook. Somebody's child went to college before yours. Somebody's child went on to do something. And if you don't know, somebody in your following knows how to contact somebody that does. So just reach out and ask questions. I think the biggest thing around that 12 to 13-year-old, people are befuddled when I say, hey, ask the question, hey, when does recruiting start? And people look around, 15, 16, 14. I'm like, to be honest with you, I'm going to be honest. It's crazy when I'm going to say this to you, because it's getting younger and younger every year. But I would say around the 12-year-old age is when coaches, college coaches that wants to continue to up their career and do right, they're asking questions about 12-year-olds now. And you'll say, why? And let me tell you why. It's because of the simple fact that if I don't ask Jami about your niece right now, if she's 12, and I say she has time, I have time because she's young, the next school that's my competition is going to slide right in, and they're going to ask about the 12-year-old. And then they're going to foster a relationship, not with the player, because that's illegal, but they're going to foster a relationship with you as the aunt. And you as the aunt are going to cultivate a relationship while I'm thinking I have time. And then next thing you know, when she's ready to go and I'm ready to start my recruiting at 14, 15, it's too late. I wouldn't have a job if I waited. Do I agree that that's nice to recruit at 12 or to try to play that game at 12? No, but do you want your job, Scout? So that's where the world is going. So when it comes to that question you asked me, is do the research, get on social media, have a co-managed account on social, and start to post some things that's going to give me an idea about your child. Because when it comes to me getting started to know if it's even worth a grain of salt for me to pursue this, I'm going to social media to see if they have video clips for me to see, is it worth me continuing to pursue?
Mm-hmm. That's true. And I do, because there could be some parents freaking out right now, like, oh my goodness, we're behind. She's 13. So it's okay.
Yes.
You're okay. And I think CJ doesn't mean like, go like post a video every single day.
Yes.
And being aware, and even of what
that's a whole can of worms we probably just opened, and I'm sorry for that. but yes, Jami's right. It's never too late. I'm telling you, it's not. It's just ask questions is really what we're trying to say. Ask questions, and don't feel like if you haven't got started at 12, you're then your child a disservice. No,
you're okay.
You're okay. You have time. God has your back, honey. But at the end of the day, I'm just letting you know that's why this podcast is so essential. It's so vital because you're learning things now that you're like, man, I wish I would have known, but how can I do it now? Well, great.
Mhm.
Stay plugged in with the Lions. That's why they're here.
Thank you, CJ, for that. Well, let's. This is good, and I'm excited. Speaking of, we'll give a teaser, but I'm excited to continue talking with CJ and seeing how we can work together to create more impact. But first, I always end with some rapid fire, and I just added one here. When you were a college player,
okay,
if NIL was a thing, who would you want to have had an NIL deal with in college during your time?
I'm a car guy, like foreign cars. Like I just would have been that guy just showing up in a Ferrari because the foreign car lot. I would have been like an exotic car opportunity. I'm a car guy. Yeah.
Do you ever think like if they had social like they do now when you played, like would you have been active on it? Would you have been the same?
Oh, for sure. I was like Deion Sanders when I played. I was prime time. I had wristbands on my forearms and legs. You know, it was look at me, and I cringe now thinking about it. But back then, I was Hollywood Beatty. You better ask them about
Hollywood Beatty.
Hollywood Beatty, that was me.
I'm gonna go back and look at that. You mentioned a couple players on Sports Illustrated. Who was your favorite baseball player?
I would say my favorite baseball player overall was Ken Griffey Jr. He dominated that era. I mean, from video games, hat backwards, smooth swing, home run derbies, he dominated that. But as I look back to say who I patterned myself after, because my dad had 3 players that I looked at, and they were hitters. And these are names that are not talked about a lot. One of them is Tony Gwynn.
Oh.
Right? I mean, the man just couldn't get out of first base. The 5.5 hole, you might as well give it to him. And Wade Boggs and Jeff Bagwell. These are my dad loved them, and Pete Rose because of the switch hitting and how hard he played. These are the players that I really went after because they were tough outs. They were feared hitters. That when they walk into the play, here comes a hit. Here comes a hit. You ain't stopping it. This is happening.
So good. Grew up in Houston. Killer Bees. Jeff Bagwell, Craig Biggio. I knew I liked you. Okay, besides your wife, so before you met Brianna, who is your favorite softball player of all time? Or maybe even now, who's your favorite softball player to watch?
Man, I would say to watch now, I'll give a shout out to Odyssey. I love her energy and the way she goes about her business. I hopped on that bandwagon when she had that JMU run, and it was just something that it was mesmerizing to see how that shift happened and how quick it was. Like they had the whole world bleeding purple at that time. So I think that was a beautiful thing. I would say overall, and I would just say this just because I had a run in when I faced her, I would say Monica Abbott. I didn't get a chance to face Kat. Kat was done, pitching while I was still playing. But Monica Abbott, I had no idea. I faced her in the Battle of the Sexes. And I'm going up there thinking that I am the man. Like, oh, man, look at the fences are right there. I can just touch the ball and to go over the fence. Honey, I went up there. That first pitch went by. I picked my leg up with the time. I picked my leg up. I was like, and that ball, my leg was still high in the air. And the ball went through. And I said, what was that? The girl was like, a strike. I said, oh, my God. So now she's toying with me like Geppetto and Pinocchio. Because she saw that I was like, okay, I'm about to gear up. I'm going to be ready for this. She throws a freaking changeup, and I screw myself in the ground. Now I'm all discombobulated. I don't know whether to gear up, whether to wait on it. I obviously can't wait on it. She's already starting. Now, she's so tall and skinny. She has elbows flying everywhere and dipping and doing. I'm like, girl, stop moving. Like, where's the release point? And it was just rise ball. Done. 3 pitches. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. And just to hear Brianna talk about, you would get your teeth kicked in on the score facing Monica, but if you just so happen to get a jam shot hit, everybody else was pissed off that they had a bad game, you would be in the back like, I got it off Monica.
I made contact, right?
So I put it in play.
That's Monica was my last at bat of my professional career. It was a strikeout, and she threw a changeup, and I looked back, I knew her catcher. Like, get out of here.
I tell you what, Brianna told me this. She said, if you get Monica to throw you a changeup, that's her tipping her hat, saying that she thinks that you can hit her fastball.
I will say I did hit a home run off of Monica in my first pro at bat off her. But the first time I faced her, we were in college playing them in the World Series, and it was back in the illegal pitch days. So I get up and bases loaded. I'm like, oh man! But it's just because we only had walks. Like she threw a no hitter against us. I've been hit by Monica in the back leg. That was my era, by the way. That's why my batting average is terrible if you look it up, because I had to face Monica, Kat, Danielle Laurie. It's rough. Those are tough times, CJ.
Yeah, for sure. I can only imagine.
You got to live it. There you go.
A brief moment. It's very quick.
All right, we're going to music now.
Okay.
And it's rapid fire, so it's got to be the first one you think of. What's your favorite lyric that you've ever written?
Big Girl Talk. And I think we're going to really help and focus on a movement. The Big Girl Talk one is, I'm a softball player and my girls are here for backup. I love that because it really embodies what I was going for. Being proud to be a softball player and looking around you and your girls, your teammates are here for backup.
I like that. I lied earlier. I talked about the softball turned blue. Team full of animals, welcome to the zoo.
Team full of animals, welcome to the zoo. I like it.
So good. Most memorable moment on your tour last year. So for reference, CJ did a tour, softball festival concert tour last summer. Actually, this past year, I think you just did some. Mm-hmm. Most memorable moment on your tour.
Is when the young girls come up crying. The first girl that came up crying and hopping up and down and like hyperventilating. I was like, I'm over here like, you're okay? Like, and her mom's like, yes, she loves you, CJ. Like, for real. She has your pictures blown up in her room. I'm like, and as she's telling me all this, it's still so new to me because I didn't set on this, when I was 8 years old, I wanted to be a Major League Baseball player. I didn't say I wanted to be a music artist. You know what I'm saying? So it's still settling in with me that I have that type of impact over some of these young girls. And to say like I'm their number one artist of all time and they can't believe that they're seeing me and they can't get words out. So I think that first time that a girl walked up to me crying and I had to console her and I had to console myself because I'm crying too. I'm like, girl, stop. I said, you got me crying. Can I just take a picture and give you a hug?
That's awesome. I love your videos too and the little girls in there. So is it safe to say that you are more of a softball fan than a baseball fan these days?
Yeah, for sure. And a lot of baseball guys that come over, like when they finally come to a concert to watch me and they stay and watch some games, they was like, dude, those softball girls get after it. I said, what you mean? They said, first of all, the games are quick. And it seems like every game is a playoff. I was like, I told you.
All right, you got three choices. You got to pick one. So you can watch either the finals of the Men's College World Series in baseball, Game 3 finals, Women's College World Series in softball, or Game 7 of Major League Baseball World Series. What do you pick?
That's a tough one. That is a tough one. Good gracious.
Just want to say I came up with that on the fly, by the way.
I know, that's tough. That's tough because you know what? I'm going to have to. I don't know if I can pick one. I'm going to go ahead and go in that multi view. I'm going to have all three in the multi view because I can't.
Great answer.
For real, because it's hard to pick that because I don't think I would be watching one. I would be going back and forth. Commercial break, what they're doing over here. Commercial break, what they're doing over here.
All right, great. Multi-view. Great answer.
Yes.
Great
Hey,
answer.
hey, you got to know how to come on your think on your quick on your feet, man.
Oh man. Okay. And finally, this doesn't have to be rapid fire, but as we close up here, what does the next year look like for you when it comes to TSM, when it comes to softball?
You know what? I'll be remiss if I didn't say it. I mean, it's just putting it all in God's hands. I'm a huge believer and strive my best to do what's right. And what I purposely want to happen is to continue to grow this TSM brand. Align myself with organizations that are in alignment with our principles and beliefs. We love Alliance and what they have to offer and how they go about their business. But I just to kind of let people know what's under the hood. I love the Savannah Bananas and how they dared to be different and how people talked about it and said it will never last. It's just this. And it seems like the more and more they talked, the more and more they grew. And that really touched me in a place of what we're doing with TSM and what we're doing with these softball concerts and any experience that TSM is a part of. We're against the grain, but I think that we'll sell out concert venues, just bringing every softball girl in the state and surrounding areas together just to be with arm's length with another softball sister they never met before. And they're at their first concert. So I believe next year what's coming up is we're going to really grow this brand to the point where we're going to have legit softball concerts in mega venues.
Love it. I love it. CJ, thank you so much for joining. This is fun. I'm grateful that we got to meet this summer and what you did for our athletes, and we'll continue to do for our athletes and for our parents. So more to come on that. But thank you for joining the Car Ride Home.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Hey guys, we hope you're enjoying the Car Ride Home podcast. Hopefully we're filling the air and making your car ride home a little bit more enjoyable. Please be sure to subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple, or YouTube, and leave us a review. If you have any special guest or requests that you'd like to hear, or have us bring a guest or a story onto the podcast, shoot us an email, info@thealliancefastpitch.com. We'd love to hear from you.